And thus we stand one issue away from number 50. It's been a long journey, but I'm glad we've reached this milestone. Only 250 more until they manage to surpass the Archie comics. We can do it! Last time around, after a camping trip and reports of some dangerous figures out in the world, Belle has come to the conclusion that she will try her best to save as many Eggman robots as possible, turning them away from the will of their master. Will Belle be successful, or is her life's mission doomed to failure? Let's find out. God, why is this cover so ominous? Like, seriously. Yep, story so far. The Chaotix got reports of the dangerous figures out there in the world, and we know that behind the scenes, Starline's machinations are slowly taking form. Main characters for the issue: Sonic the Hedgehog, Miles Tails per Hour, and Belle the Tinkerer. Interesting. Alright, Tails' house. Several Badniks abound all around Belle. Tails pops out of a bush saying, "Ready?" Belle looks at the Miles electronic. It says all the cables are in. Motobud's non-aggression subroutine is isolated, and the wireless broadcast is prime. Oh, okay. So Motobud is the one that she found previously, and she's essentially broadcasting the non-aggression to all the other Badniks. And I guess Sonic under a blanket says, "I'm waiting." Oh, that's such a classic line. Belle says, "Oops, sorry, sending now." And she presses the button and it says, "Signal sent." Tails pulls the rope. The blanket falls off of Sonic. He says, "Wow, it's great to be Sonic the Hedgehog, completely unaware of any nearby danger. I sure hope no Badniks try to sneak up on me." And he looks towards the Badnik, and the Badniks go about their day, playfully and joyfully happening, frolicking about. Tails pops out the bushes and says, "It worked! Their attack response was completely negated." Sonic looks around and says, "Am I really that boring? I'm losing to a rock." Bella's excited, saying, "If we can get this reprogramming to stick, all Eggman's robots could be saved." Tails states, "Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Eggman's always got something new up his sleeve. And with the weird stuff that's been happening lately, I don't know. It doesn't seem like his style, but..." Talking about the actions of the imposters. Sonic stretches and says, "If Eggman starts something, we'll handle it." And as he walks off, he states, "The only thing I'm worried about right now is lunch. How do tacos sound?" Tails says, "Okay, are you coming in, Belle?" Belle hangs with Motobud and says, "I think I'll stay out here for a while." Tails, meanwhile, shouts, "Wait, not chili dogs? Are you okay?" Sonic says, "I like to eat other things. I'll just have a chili dog for dessert." There we go. Sonic passed out on, I guess, Tails' couch. I guess he had read a book and fallen asleep. He hears some scraping at a door and sees Motobud. And as he gets up all groggy, he says, "What's up, little dude? Do you want to go out?" And as he touches Motobud, he says, "Okay, let's give the door a break." But Motobug swipes at him. Sonic, up on the couch trying to get out of harm's way, says, "That's not good." Tails comes out of his room all groggy. On that bookshelf, there's references to Undertale? The robot dude. I'm forgetting his name. Damn, it's been so long since I played Undertale. And are those one of the floating island robots from Sonic the Comic? Oh, that's Evan Stanley for you. Sneaking in them little Easter eggs. Tails comes out of his room groggy and says, "Sorry, it's the middle of the night." But then they hear a loud crash as Belle comes out of her room, eyes glowing, saying, "Get out, have to, get out." And as Belle heads towards the door, Tails follows and says, "Hey, wait." Sonic tries to warn him, but Tails leaps in front of Belle, saying, "Look at their eyes. They're both under a control signal, like what we were testing, but so much worse. Fight it, Belle. I know you can." As Belle lurches forward, raises a hand, and strikes at Tails, but Sonic blocks it at the last possible second, rushing in between the two. Sonic gently, kicks Belle away, saying to Tails Think you can whip something up to fix this? Tails says, I'll try. Buy me some time. As he goes rushing off, Bell continues to state in a monotone, have to get out. And as Sonic goes leaping over Motobud, he says, nobody's going anywhere just yet. Sonic goes racing in on Bell, saying, this has Mad Doctor written all over it. Give me a clue. Blink once for Eggman, twice for Starline. Eh? He already knows how this usually goes. Oh, but Bell turns her head and pulls on her tail. And Sonic says, I don't have that one in my blink code. Got anything easier? But because of Bell's mechanism, she kicks right at the bookshelf, with Sonic nearly avoiding the strike. And as he falls to the ground, he says, okay, not in a bantering mood. Noted. And as Sonic continues to avoid Bell's kicks, he cries out to Tails, how's it going in there, Tails? Tails states, almost ready. Hang on. Sonic says, at least she's easy to do. He falls back as Motobud manages to knock him off his feet. And as Sonic manages to recover on the ground, one of Belle's tools comes out of her fingers. It's an X-Acto knife as she goes lunging towards Sonic. Sonic manages to narrowly dodge, but then his glove is caught by Motobud. Belle then brings out the rest of the tools on her fingers, stating, get out. But then in comes Tails, tackling Belle to the ground, holding up what looked like the Zeddy Zapper. He says, this is gonna hurt, so sorry in advance, and he slaps it onto Belle's back. And a massive shock goes all throughout Belle's body, and as she lies on the ground sizzling, Tails calls out to her, and Belle slowly gets up, shakingly saying, it's me, I'm okay. Tails cautiously reaches out to Belle, saying, it's a good thing I had that prototype Zeddy Zapper left over. It'll stop any wireless signals going in or out. Are you sure you're okay? Belle gets up and says, it was a beacon. Badniks, all of them, have been called in. Eggman is summoning an army, and she turns to Tails with tears in her eyes, I am going to find that man and give him a piece of my mind because I'm tired of getting yanked around. I'm actually surprised. I know that ultimately Belle is an Eggman creation, but I didn't think that kind of signal would affect her since she was made when Eggman was Mr. Tinker. But I guess despite not being his original self, he still had the ingenuity of Eggman. So certain subroutines are still there. I think that's also why Starline was so fascinated by her, because despite the fact that he wasn't Eggman technically, he still worked like Eggman would. Oh, poor Belle. Oh, Tails asks Belle, an army? Where? Did you get coordinate? Belle shakes her head and says, to the south, I think. Pretty far away. Dang it. It's already fading. Sonic holds down Motobud and says, well, we've still got one Badnik who knows where to go. And as they step outside, Tails says, it looks like the other Badniks already ran off. Sonic says then, we'd better get moving. And as he puts Motobud right side up and says, lead the way, little guy. And Motobud goes racing off, with the three heroes following behind. And as they come over the hill, they spot a truck in the pathway of all the moving Badniks. Belle looks down and says, I think there are some people down there. Tails turns to Sonic and says, we've gotta... But Sonic's already gone. Inside the truck, transporting bales of hay, the driver says, dang it, sit down, don't get their attention. But one of the other farmers pulls out a wisp and says, we gotta clear a path, blast our way through. But suddenly there's a whoosh, and they're all up on the hill next to Belle and Tails, courtesy of Sonic. Sonic tells them, if you don't get in their way, they won't bug you. There's a house up there. Get inside and wait for this to blow over, okay? The farmer with the wisp says, yes, sir. And Sonic says, cool, let's go, guys. As Tails trails behind Sonic, who is carrying Belle, he says, we've been following these Badniks for hours. Do you think we're getting close? Sonic says, beats me. Last I checked, there's nothing out this way but woods. Tails, deciding to fly up, says, there's gotta be something. And then he notices something shining off in the distance. Oh, it's a city? All the Badniks are flooding into a multicolored city of some sort. electricity crackling out of one of the spires with that classic Eggman logo on it. What is this? Curious. Tails comes flying back as Sonic says that's not a good face. Tails comes down in a panic saying there's an entire city. It definitely looks like Eggman's. Bell grabs onto Motobud and says we have to stop Motobud. And as Sonic tries to stop him too, he says this little guy's not gonna turn around and I only know one way to stop a Badnik. Bell says in distress, let's, put the zapper on Motobud instead. That'll stop. But Tails disagrees. We can't. As soon as it's off, you'll be vulnerable to the signal again. Bell then says, I've been studying its construction. I might be able to cut Motobud's power. And Sonic says, and that won't scrap it? Bell hesitates and says, I don't know. But I'm not letting Eggman have this. And so Bell goes to work, trying to rework Motobud, but suddenly they find themselves surrounded by Badniks, who are slowly closing in on them specifically. Sonic says, hate to rush you, but we've suddenly gotten very popular. Bell looks back and Tails smiles at her, confident in what she can do. Bell then yanks out Motobug's wiring, and he powers down. And as Tails and Sonic start fighting off the Badniks, they suddenly lose interest and walk away. Sonic turns to Belle and she states, I thought I saw, and she pulls out a piece of paper. Oh, okay. The letter reads, to whoever finds this letter, it is for my daughter Belle, the Tinkerer. I hope that one day she might read it, unlikely as that may be. Though I am a captive, I do not ask for rescue. It's too late for that. This is a confession to ease an old man's conscience. I've lived a good life, bringing joy to those around me, watching you become the wonderful woman you are. My captor is adamant that I'm actually a would-be despot, Dr. Eggman. The thought of it turns my stomach. Still, I cannot deny the logic of his evidence. I am not Dr. Eggman, but if I somehow lose myself to this nightmare, I am truly, deeply sorry. To you and to the world. I love you, Belle. I always will. Goodbye, Mr. Tinker. And I guess this was when Starline was getting ready to reprogram Eggman. Mr. Tinker had put the note inside the Motobug and sent him off. Belle is huddled over the Motobug, slumped over and sad. She says, he's really gone. I was stupid to think I could make a difference. As the letter falls from her hands and is blown away by the wind, but Sonic manages to catch it with his shoe. He says, as he grabs the note and hands it over to Belle, you've already made a difference, Belle. All the little wins, the good memories between the hard times, the friends we find, those are real. Nobody can take that away. We'll keep moving forward together. That's some pretty Sonic the Hedgehog logic. I love it. Well done, Evan. Tails then tries his best to comfort Belle and says, we gotta check out the city. If you want to go back to the workshop, that's okay. But Belle says, no, Sonic's right. Let's go. Wiping away the tears from her eyes. And as Tails grabs a hold of Sonic, he reaches his hand out to Belle and says, that's more like it. Hang on, you two. I think this calls for a little extra speed. And he goes racing off with the two in hand, racing towards the massive spire. And so, next time, Badniks, more Badniks, Dr. Eggman, Dr. Starline, Scourge, Kit, and more. Issue number 50, here it comes. So essentially we've got the battleground for the fight between Surge and Sonic, Kit versus Tails, Starline versus Eggman, and Belle caught in the middle. I wonder what will happen. The saga of the sad tale of the little Tinkerer Belle continues on. It's been fabulous. It's very endearing. I wonder what happens next, though. I'm surprised that she's going to be involved in the battle and the struggle between Starline and Eggman, and it really does leave me wondering how she's going to be involved. It's interesting that everything is converging all in one place. Is this Eggman's plan or is this Starline's doing? It's really hard to tell. And during this fight, what'll happen to Surge? What'll happen to Kit? Are they actually going to be able to actually stand up to their counterparts, as it were? Will Starline have finally bitten off more than he can chew? And will Belle's quest to turn all of Eggman's inventions to good actually work out? It's actually really interesting to have a creation of Eggman's actually try to turn other robots to good, unlike like the likes of Omega, who wants to just destroy all of Eggman's robots. And it leaves me questioning what would happen if Bell were to meet Omega. Like, would he try to destroy her? I would hope not. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you expect to happen in the next issue? Who will come out on top? As if you haven't already seen the solicits for issue 51 and all that good stuff. But it's always fun to theorize. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe, that way you don't miss out on the next issue. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till then, bye-bye.